Hello friends, a very good day to all of you. Welcome to Neo Science Hub, a new initiative to make science and technology easy access to all and also to reveal the untold science. Today we are here to listen the expert comments on the data integrity, the opportunity and challenges. As we all know that the DI, data integrity, is a hot trending topic in pharma industry today. To sum up, data integrity enables good decision making by pharmaceutical manufacturers and regulatory authorities. It is a fundamental requirement of the quality system described in EU GMP Chapter 1, applying equally to manual, that is, paper based documents, and also to electronic systems. We have with us panel members Dr. Subramanian S. Iyer, Mr. Sujit Agarwal, and Mr. Rishabh Jain. Dr. Subramaniam S. Iyer is a seasoned corporate executive focused on analytical chemistry and quality management systems with 25 years of corporate experience. Dr. Iyer held various roles of increasing responsibility in companies like Mylon Labs, where he was responsible for compliance and quality systems as Vice President, Head of OSD Quality, India R&D. Dr. Iyer also served in Orchid Healthcare, Ranbaxy Labs, and IPCA earlier. He received his PhD in chemistry from Bombay University and did his postdoctoral research work in State University of Ghent, Belgium, and Delft University of Technology, Netherlands, respectively. Mr. Sujit Agarwal is a pharma professional having more than 25 years of rich experience in both API and formulation units. He has hands-on experience in QC instrumentation and analytical techniques. He has worked with IPCA Labs, Ranbaxy Labs, Aurobindo Pharma, Sun Pharma, and Mylon Labs. During his career, he has interacted with all global regulatory auditors. Mr. Rishabh Jain is a pharma professional having more than 21 years of experience in both API and formulation divisions. He has hands-on experience of facing various global regulatory audits including US FDA, MHRA, ANVISA, etc. He has good knowledge in investigation skills and report writing. He is a good trainer for technical skills as well as behavioral skills, having owned YouTube channel for sharing knowledge with more than 4,000 viewers. His core areas of interest are QC systems including computer system qualification, productivity improvement, quality culture development, and human errors reduction. A very hearty welcome to all panel members. I hope this session will be useful to all. Over to Dr. Iyer.
Thank you, Mr. Kuppaswamy, for his kind words. I also thank New Science Hub for giving me this opportunity to join in a webinar for a topic which is ever hot in the pharmaceutical industry. I am glad that I am sharing a platform with such an august panelist. Pharmaceutical industry is quite unique in that our customers cannot determine the quality or safety of our products simply by looking at them. Patients trust that our medicine is safe and effective. We make products that directly impact people's life. Our family members, including our children, are taking these medicines and will be directly affected by them in either a positive or a negative way. Hence, we need to ensure that we have good quality in place. Now let's understand what data is. Data are the raw facts that describe the characteristics of an event. Information is data converted into meaningful and useful context. Data is collected and analyzed. For example, the height of Mount Everest is around 29,000 feet. It is generally considered data. The height can be recorded precisely with an altimeter and entered into a database. Similarly, when you have any information during the development stage, you record it and you keep it. That becomes your data in the pharmaceutical industry. Now let's go into integrity. According to dictionary, integrity is nothing but a quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. And if you coin these two words, data integrity, it refers to a reliability and trustworthiness of data throughout its life cycle. Data integrity applies to the entire pharmaceutical workflow. That includes research and development to pivotal clinical trials, manufacturing and distribution. Any lab which goes for regulatory approval is ground zero for inspection. Regulatory has the power, the agents have the power to check your data for integrity right from the R&D stage. And we all know and recalls are happening due to lack of assurance. Unfortunately, India has the highest percentage of data integrity component in their warning letters. Close to us is the US with 47% and China with 40%. This shows that data integrity is a global phenomenon, and since we are living in this, we need to catch up and make amendments. Well, FDA thinks that anything which is a manual system has an inherent risk. They are difficult to validate. They also believe that if anything is not documented, it was actually not done. And then if it was not done using a process and a right process, it was not done properly. All this changed when in 2004, FDA came out with a paper called Pharmaceutical CGMPs for the 21st Century, a risk-based approach. Herein, they encourage implementation of risk-based approach that focus both industry and agency attention on critical areas. They also encourage the pharmaceutical industry to use science-based policies and standards, to have an integrated quality system, and to also go for modernization of manufacturing techniques. So the entire thing got changed after this paper was published. See, if you see the collection of information which FDA has collected during the audits the last 2020, it's obvious that most of the observations what they have done is clearly intentional. Like for example, loss of data or uncontrolled documentation. That means they have no control on blank forms. They are in a position to take a blank form, write it, and if there's any error, just carry it off and take a new one. Or sharing of password between the chemist, or turning off the audit whenever it is required. So all these clearly indicates that intention was not correct. The term ALCOA has been around since 1990s, used by regulatory industries as a framework for ensuring data integrity. Attributable is all the data generated or collected must be attributable to a person generating a data. That means we should know clearly who has actually generated the data. Legible is all data recorded must be legible. It should be in a readable and permanent form. Contemporaneous means to record the result, measurement or data at the time the work is actually performed. Original data sometimes is also referred to as the source data or primary data, as the medium in which the data point is recorded for the first time. Accurate is record has to be accurate, it should be free from errors, complete, truthful and reflective of the observation. With time, new elements have been included in data integrity, calling it as ALCOA Plus. For example, data should always be completely recorded. There should not be any modification or deletion, and it should be stored in such a manner that it's long lasting, and any data is always confirmed to a second person who approves it or verifies it, and any changes which you make to data are version control. That means we should have a version in place and original should be kept. And then finally, data is available to view for any auditors who come to visit within a reasonable time. Okay, opportunities are many. If you validate your process, you don't need to actually do any such falsification or something. And wherever there's automation, it leads to less of manual intervention, hence less of errors, so no question of any data being interchanged or manipulated. and you limit the access to Gecko so that not many people have access to tamper with, and one should always back up all the data so it is in a secure place, and ensure that you keep track of the data by using a log where any modification or deletion is clearly, or even addition is clearly mentioned or clearly recorded, and conduct regular audits. Internal audits is an eye opener for many. It sort of opens up a lacuna because most of us are busy in our working work. We fail to find issues of our quality. If you do internal audit, it helps. I would recommend all the viewers to take a look at this nicely written guidelines by US FDA. It's titled as Data Integrity in Compliance with CGMP Guidance for Industry. Here, in a question answer form, they have clearly mentioned the do's and don'ts of data integrity. Please take a look. Do what you say and say what you do. If one follows this, I think the data integrity issue is solved to a large extent. Thank you very much.
So after this, all the guidelines they are working with the Alcoa Plus. So I am not discussing so much of here because we are not topic to be what is the data integrity here. So I added this for the Alcoa Plus, like there was the different attributable, visible, and contaminous, original, accurate, complete, consistent, enduring, available. So these all are the things here. This is given by the guideline, and the different guideline has given, but consolidate, if you see, Alcoa is coming in the picture. So what is the concern? How data integrity and how the industry is facing? So the procedure is not adequate. Procedure is not adequate. Now what happened? The procedure is saying something and people are following something. Because our training, when the procedure is effective, the procedure is prepared by the senior people, and then it will not come into the proper with all the channel. So the procedure which is mentioned, it is not adequate. So what if the new person has joined the organization, they have to be senior people, like what senior people is doing, like how they are doing the analysis. So they have to be learned from them. Exactly what is mentioned in the data, what is mentioned in our procedure. So sometimes it is missing. So these all are the training, where the picture is coming, the training. So these all the reasons, data integrity come in the picture. And why this data integrity, sometimes what happens, lot of pressure is there, and people are trying to have some shortcut. So that shortcut also, when the system is creating as a shortcut, so data integrity come in the picture. The resource availability and quality culture, that is the now big important requirement in the system. How to develop the quality culture to be improved, to that come out with data integrity issues. So what exactly should be, what return should be followed, what is the return in the procedure should be followed, and what you have followed should be documented. So this is a main picture. If people will work on that, so that can be avoided the data integrity. But nowadays, that lot of industries are working in the improving their procedures, so that things are coming significantly in the coming time. That all are coming the same picture. Now, after that, if data integrity is happened, so that should be procedure has to be how to be address the data integrity issues. So there should be some DI policy should be there, and now I think all the big organizations, they have written DI policy, and that should be a proper problem statement and scope, root cause analysis, risk assessment, and then continue review process and check for how to be control this data integrity. So that's some data integrity, like quality culture development. Procedure has to be improved, how to be controlled through procedure, because if all are not, automation process not there, how to control through procedure, and review process also has to be improved.
So thank you, sir. I don't have slides to present today, but I can fairly see in the last presentation, mostly everything is covered, and that is what we all need to work upon. So when it is said that the culture, so that's the important in building the data integrity across the manufacturing quality operations. So the utmost focus should be on our people, because the people who deal with the data, those are tomorrow going to be recognized or blamed for the integrity or the correct data. So when it's said to be the data integrity, could be intentional or the non-intentional, whatever the reason it is, there is the flaw in the data management. There is a issues with the data integrity. So the major focus the industry should extend at this point of time on the people. So there should be a training and the awareness program actually to understand what the data integrity means actually. So this simple GDP and the Alcoa, how do we build in our people to adopt the requirements? There should be a very balanced program actually for all the people, for all the level. That is how I think it will be benefit industry to build the data integrity. Another thing what is mentioned is the culture. And the culture is the big word in the quality. It's not really limited to the data integrity. So that culture has to be built. But how this culture has to be built, and from where it starts from top, it starts from bottom. From where it stops, it's go left to right, top to bottom. And what really need to be built into the culture. So what is our mechanism to gauge and map the existing culture? And here is nothing to be say that the culture is good or bad. Culture is a culture, but that culture is really supporting to the data integrity requirements or not. I think there should be a very scientific behavioral program across the operation, and that will be help in building the data integrity. So when FDA look at the industry, they look at the industry with the great trust. And I remember one of the words of the very senior FDA official in his speech. She mentioned that the quality means a great relationship of the trust with industry and the FDA. And same trust we deliver to our patient. When the patient take a pill, he take with the great trust. So the trust should be maintained, and that thinking should come into the behavior in the mind. People should keep remembering this, and that all we need to build across the industry through the training, awareness, and the culture mapping and correction program. So that is one thing which will help embedding and the building and the sustaining the data integrity in our quality and manufacturing operations. And that's the one thing which is utmost. But the another thing, we in a pharma deal with a lot of processes. So our process of handling, gaining, maintaining, populating, integrating the data actually is a huge process. It's a very complex process we deal with in the pharma. So how our processes are supporting to our employees? How does they help them do a manufacturing premises have a good GDP practices which help data integrity? Are our formats, our recording mechanism, review mechanism are quite helpful for an employee who is going to record or review the data? So what are the processes we have in the industry? do we have a processes those do not really support an employee, and whether our employee are empowered enough to tell, no, I'm not good with this processes. And there are people in the industry, in the senior management, who come ahead and tell that, oh, you are a problem, let me help you out. Data integrity is important for us, and if you are not comfortable, let us revise our processes. So what processes we really use at it, and what are the flaws on those processes? And in the few years in the past, the IT is quite pushed to the pharma. It is aggressively being pushed in the pharma. I remember in 2015, when the industry was struggling with the data related to the chromatography, and many industries, organizations were in the remediation process. Then the software provider who deal with the analytical equipment quickly worked and revised, upgraded all their softwares, so those are capable to help the ask of the FDA, the requirement of the data integrity. So how the IT system is helping, and does the IT is complete at this point of time, because we still deal with the hybrid system. There are something on the paper, something on still in the computer. How to bridge between the flow of this data? Okay, so we need to work much still on the technology part. And when it comes to the manufacturing equipment, those equipments are basically designed to deliver a good product. But whatever are the equipment providers, they've done the quite correction in their softwares, their data acquisition systems. So whether those manufacturing equipment which is must to use in the pharma, but the computer associated with those equipment are helping, or those OEMs would be thinking to take it further. If someone has some.
The current scenario, like we are more focusing on the technical training, and everywhere if you see the training is a part of only some compliance. So people are just doing the compliance, and actual training which somewhat we are facing not moving as what we want. And if we consider this technical training with our behavioral training is now very important, because when we discuss about quality culture, when we discuss about data integrity, so how do we improve the behavior aspect of each and individual working employee in the pharma industry? That is very important. The fear has to be go. They have to become forward saying that I did mistake. Until unless the people didn't come from the fear that is always in the mind, what happened if we happen. So like that, until unless this behavioral aspect will not come in the picture, the data integrity all will be a question mark in our Indian scenario and pharmaceutical scenario.
Okay, I got your point. I understand what you're going to and where you're coming from. What I was trying to say is training is something which is required from an operational point of view. When I'm talking from an operational point of view, you have to make it clear to them, saying that you have to just follow the SOP and report the results. You cannot give an analyst or someone a chance to decide on what is right and what is wrong. The fear of failure is very high among the bench level people. So as a manager, you have to ensure that you don't worry about the failure, you don't worry about anything, just report the results to me. You know what is happening? Most of the managers fall in that trap, say, batch release come hai, kaise bhi karke clear kar usko. So that sort of an attitude, the batch has to be released, come what may you have to do it. That fear, I think, stops a person from reporting the actual results. So once you remove that fear, saying that, no, this is the company culture. And believe me, these cultures come from the top down. So it has to come from top down. Unless the top is convinced, saying that we are going to have a loss of reputation in case there is a DI issue, we are going to have recalls in case of DI issue, all this financial, burden, unless the top knows, we are talking about the top in the board and the managing director and your CEO level. Unless they know and they tell you no, they tell the QA person saying that nothing doing here, you do your job and you do it correctly. So this training part is an operational part, but the integrity part is something which it has to be imbibed. I know some of the companies in MNCs, when they are hiring a person, they actually give you a sort of a, how do you call it, IQ and EQ test. And very emotional quotient. They want to understand this person is actually good for our industry or not. Why they do that? They try to screen them at that instant itself. So I think that is the next level, but we don't want to go into that. But what I'm basically trying to say is that your training, operational training has to come, and then you have to give the freedom to the chemist, saying that he has to just follow the SOP and report the results. That's all. Any human error is acceptable. Huh? See, anyone will form a human error, but not to the extent of falsification of data. Let him make a mistake. Mistake is acceptable. Everyone is okay. We make mistakes and all. Let him tell the manager. That's okay. But falsifying the data to ensure that no, this has to go, that is where you're, as a head or as a leader, I think that's where the onus lies on us to ensure that these things do not happen.
Let us come forward. If anything has happened till time, if there are any methods required to revise, let us do it. If any procedure is required to revise, if any manufacturing system has to be changed, let us come forward and do it. Till time, data integrity, until unless the people are getting the confidence, there will be not a threat to the job. That impact assessment can be done properly. The regulatory has to be accepted. You have to submit the revised procedures, document. Then the data integrity, maybe somewhat we can come out with this, all the issues.
Okay, let me answer your question. I get your point. Like the culture cannot be changed overnight. I understand that. Absolutely not. It cannot be changed overnight. But there should be a clear-cut visibility that culture is changing. Unless you bring that visibility down the line, people saying that no, unlike earlier. See, I work in a company for 15 years. And 15 years I have seen a transition. The earlier time, I've been a head for almost 150, 200 people. I know how it started, how we behave, and now I know how the present team is behaving. So it's a gradual. You can't keep on saying that hey, pehle hua tha, now it's okay. No, it doesn't work like that. There is a rethinking. You have to unlearn many things. Whatever you learned few years back, you have to unlearn. So that unlearning is something which needs to, like a senior person has to say that, yeah, what happened earlier, I was supposed, if I am 10 years back, if I got told some chemist to something, the same thing will not be applicable now because the scenario is changing. You need to change with the time. If you don't change with the time, if you don't tell your persons that no, earlier I said the same thing, but now I cannot because these are the implications. These are the impact. I think that's how it is. Otherwise, there is no, you cannot really go on with data integrity by saying that no, earlier it used to work well, now it cannot work. That is not acceptable because earlier, I remember FDA coming inside, they used to just check your BMR, check your data and walk off. Now they go to your washroom, they go to any place which is not allowed for them. They go to your canteen, they ask anything. So the entire gamut of audit is changing now, unlike the earlier. Thanks to Pika Baka, he has changed the whole game now. So, because of the change in the game, you need to be upfront, you need to be proactive, ensuring that, yes, he might come and he might see anything. I know a company which actually shared all their data 2 days before their audit. And unfortunately, they kept their camera on. And the auditor casually asked, what room is this? They said, this is a sharing room. They said, show me your camera. Camera clearly show everything what they shared. So these are some of the goofs which we do. So these are something which we need to plan and we need to ensure that with time we keep changing. First, I answered that question.
Yes, Sujit, please go ahead.
Yeah, so no, actually, I really, Dr. Ayer, this is what it is. So there should be a great determination, like we got to change now, and it starts from the top actually. And in my personal experience, no person want to make data integrity violations. Actually, it is what when they have a question, there are not people to answer those questions. Okay, and they do what they are doing from the years, as Mr. Jain said. So there should be a voice already there at the shop floor. Those voices should be listened, and whatever need to be done in our objective to correct the things, we should do it. And if something need to be sacrificed on account of on this, I think management should be ready to do that. As Mr. Jain said, that there are some old method, bad methods are running in the laboratory since years. They are doing kind of adjustment in the pH or something, and which need to be fixed today. We need to be fixed today, and whatever the impact is there on the previously reduced product, we should be ready to acknowledge those risks actually. So again, I come to the basic question of Mr. Jain, like, there should be a training, but in addition to training, there should be a lot of awareness, and that awareness should start from why and what. So I think that's the thing need to be seen.
Sometimes you need to use a stick. You can't be very soft on GI issue. And you need to bring HR in the picture. You need to suspend him. You need to act tough. Otherwise, if there is no fear, he keeps continuing. And I know this helps. Once an HR gives a warning letter or something, or HR suspends him or something, then it acts as a deterrent for anyone to not do anything like that. So guys, some tough measures have to be, if you need to change a culture, you need to do it using a tough measure. Otherwise, soft approach will not going to help you.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing actually, and let me add some examples since I directly look at the data integrity from across the manufacturing operation. People in my data, what I collect sitting at my office, people do the violation because of the two reasons. First thing, they don't think that the whatever data they are generating is meaningful. It is going to be built a quality. For them, it is a additional work. For example, like, it is not going to be fail this product. Okay, I cannot operate with this screening checklist. Another thing, they know there is a problem, but what to do? Neither their supervisor answered, nor anyone else could able to help in their colleague level. There are two reasons I frequently experience actually. So, and this give an opportunity to sitting us to people who make the policies, who make the decisions, what need to be done. So I know in my last 5-6 years, I made many CV30s pass in our changing in the process, analytical techniques, lot of cleaning operations, BMR, we completely revised. We took help of the people who work more on the format system, like the government format, railway reservation format, or some even municipal operation, where you don't have a choice to write at your own. Whatever is asked need to be written. That we named as a human reduction format. And that lot of formats we have changed in the last 5-6 years, because people want to do it, but say, okay, where to write this operation? There's no place in the format. Okay, my test procedure is not clear. So a lot of work has to be done on the legacy, as well as there should be a great commitment to deal with the situation always.
Absolutely, correct. When it comes to legacy, I think only Indian pharma industry can fight for that, because our industry do not have so much money, unlike the European or the US industries, to buy new equipment every now and then. So we need to fight, but we need to fight in such a way that we have checks and balances for any legacy. For example, if your instrument is not compliant, 21 CFR, there are ways to address it. FDA clearly says, FDA says that, okay, you don't have checks and balances, let someone check. if you don't have any passwords or anything, let someone be a checker for you. So there are ways I think we need to address and we need to use that and then continue rather than saying that no, I'm not going to follow any system.
Yeah. So just to acknowledge and to stay with your talk, Dr. Iyer, the data integrity policy says wherever you fail to meet the requirement, there is a risk assessment need to be done. Based on the risk assessment, you need to provide a kind of controls which can control the situation.
As I said, people are not using that risk assessment for their advantage. That is the big issue here in India.
Yeah.
Good. Nice.
Even nowadays, if you do any equipment instrument qualification when you started, the risk assessment will come in the first picture. Then you can decide how many mitigation plan is required to identify that risk and has to be resolved this risk. But now sometimes what happens, the urgency and fighting to do fast like that, it may be only come in the documentation instead of really doing the working on the instrument, working, understanding the boundaries of the system, sometimes missed.
That's what. I think the rush for clearing the batches takes high precedence going to the deeper into issues. I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is 10 years back, how was our culture? Nowadays the culture is totally changed. Yes, I do agree. That is a belief. Okay, when auditors are coming, they are looking for the facts. So they want to see the system. Now, for the laboratory ecosystem is supporting for the DI, and then what we are thinking is, we are thinking only about the chromatographic system. If you take in my testing specification, chromatographic system is maybe 1 or 2, assay and RS. And then 15 tests will be there. In the out of 15, 2 tests are there into this one. If you consider a 10 out of 2 is maybe 2% of my system is having a very good comply with the DI, and then it can be able to identify my audit file review. Somewhere Dr. S. Iyer was telling about the audit file. It's completely captured. The remaining 80% of the system, it's not having the same equivalent audit trial system like Empower, or you can talk about the Chromeleon. It is not there. And then where we are facing the problem most of the time is such kind of a system only. So now, even now, we are talking about our internally, whether FD is asked, we are looking in our side. So we need to improve the system, we need to improve the training. But we are not putting question on the instrument developer, software developer. Even some of the instruments, I can tell the Perkin Elmer, it's very good. It is accurate and precise, but still the software is allowing for the multiple analysis. If I put the same year number 2 times, it will accept. And then again, it will not be identified immediately because audit trial system is not that much strong. So we need to look, or we need to, this kind of forums, take it into the software developers for the small systems like UV, IR, and then moisture analyzer. They need to improve their software system also to support for the DI. It's currently DI in the sense they are looking only the audit trial, not other aspects on the DI perspective. This is my experience. What I think so. Maybe other persons also may be having the same kind of experience. So this is my experience I am sharing.
Mr. Balasubramanian, you rightly said actually. So when the things were pushed to the Indian industries and the many big industries were in the trouble, that time no software provider in the laboratory and in the manufacturing was prepared to answer. Right. So if you see the one water systems where a lot of 483s have been issued with respect to data integrity, those systems were not validated the way it was designed. So that was the most advanced software we used in that time in the laboratory. And there were many other softwares were already there. Those were not up to the mark. Okay. But FDA did not question that time. So I believe FDA also gave time to the industry to get ready over a period. So I knew that there were many Simarju and the other company software did not have even the audit trail those were not equipped with the data backup procedures, they were not able to file and filter the data. Lot of issues were there. Then they came up in next 2 years, 15, 16, 17. They all upgraded their software, and our people who are using those software, I know some of the people from my team who could discover a lot of flaws in those software. They pushed to the OEM again and they corrected. So that process has to go. By this time, I believe in the laboratory software is quite upgraded, but still this challenge is there with the manufacturing equipments. Okay. And again, there's the new things are being pushed to the industries to the traceability of the data from one station to the another, and where Industry 4.0 could be one of the tools to build that. There is the major focus of the FDA now. Okay, so someone was asking me to how you define the being a data integrity head of that many sites. How do you define the data integrity can be answered? So my answer was to them, we all no need to answer. FDA has already have answered. So Alcoa plus, if you keep understanding in more deeper and deeper sense, you will get your all answers. So when the question was, why do we do the CSVMP? Then I asked that gentleman, how do you prove the accuracy of your data if you don't validate your computer system? So again, it is Alcoa, there should be accurate data. And how do you ensure an accurate data? Through the validation only. So that is how is the answer of Mr. James. The qualification is critical. And while doing qualification, we need to challenge all the data. Our computer system is going to generate accurate data. So that is how more progress we need to do on the computer system qualification, and the computer system provider also has to improve more and more.
So this is laboratory ecosystem what we discussed. The second thing, if you see, for the management aspects, okay, a lot of guidelines. Even Dr. Rizayar also shown a lot of guidelines is available. Even Rishabh Jain also shown a lot of guidelines available in website. And then every line we can read, and then every line we can implement. But there is no any proper guidelines or guidance or a module we can say how to assess the capacity. Somebody is asking, the scale up is there in our company. So then new 5 methods are going to come. When it is comes, how I am going to manage my manpower, and then how I am going to run my HPLC system. There is no any practical module. It's not available, because as of now, just somebody will ask the previous experience. Okay, the new method is coming. Another 5 samples is going to come in. So what is your manpower? So there is no any proven model, and then we are not focusing on the CIs. Do you have any system to say this is your capacity, and then this is your standard work? This much only we can able to deliver. And then if you require further a new method or this one is coming, then you will be having impact on your testing manpower. So is there any validated, universally accepted methods are available to adapt?
So can I answer this question, Swamiji? Okay. So Balasubramaniam, this is very tough question. And if you want to get a straightforward answer from me, there is a capacity which is built. There is a capacity which is delivered. So whatever is capacity is delivered on a particular day, is this the actual capacity? Because that capacity may have lot many tasks and lot many opportunities to improve. Whatever is delivering, it is only helping. Correct. So if you want to push to that deliveries without doing any additional correction, then people will do the things which are not accepted. They will make data integrities. So I worked with a very renowned worldwide consultant for last 5 years on the operational excellence. Okay, and they have the data of almost entire world. Okay, and in my opinion, there is no data can be match up one geography to another, one plant to even another plant, because each laboratory, each manufacturing operation is unique at its own, because they have a different products to deal with, they have a different operations, they have different people, and at the most they have different supervisors and managers. Okay, so the capacity cannot be defined in that term. Capacity can always be defined in terms of what is delivered, and that can be always questioned what best can be delivered and what best can be done with that capacity.
What is happening is, in terms of analytical methods and all, now many of the organizations are slowly following a QBD principle. So what is happening is, they have something called a design space. In an analytical method, design space is something where you have a bandwidth where you can keep playing around here and there. When I was a chemist long back, it was not that. Now chemists have that bandwidth. They can, the RT can shift, your peak can shift, your peak, all that flexibility is included now, unlike earlier time. So your deliverables always would be slightly more, because they need to understand and then they need to give it. And when I say more means, they might take more time. I'm talking that way. They might take more time to deliver because they need to make those changes. So that is soon coming out, unlike the earlier. Now, analytical QBD is soon going to be a reality. Maybe it's just in a final stage, but then because FDA understands that these methods are not as robust as we think it is on a day-to-day basis. That's the reason they are going to give more flexibility now. In future, you might see that things might change.
Yeah, I agree, Dr. Iyer. A lot of work is happening in the QBD and analytical.
Absolutely.
And as well as in the current scenario, a lot of lean and Kaizen we have an opportunity to implement in our laboratory systems.
Absolutely.
So that should also be exercised when it comes to the improving deliveries.
Absolutely.
Even nowadays the method transfer also people are doing, because if you see that previously the method transfer only we are doing the method precision. Now the method transfer also a little bit as a like a method validation itself. All accuracy is spiking, everything is doing. So it's even more confident to be transfer the method from R&D to site. So this is also like nowadays a lot of changes coming in the systems.
Yeah, now currently FDA thinks that there should be a kind of mini validation at the transfer site. So the actual experience may come at the site only. So yeah, I agree with you. Like expectations are more now.
The robustness of the method is being checked on all different sites. Yeah,
Correct.
because it's becoming global now. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Even because of in time between the chemical and brand and everything changing, so now method life cycle approach is coming in the picture. So every 2 years, 3 years, people are doing again validation, saying that the current scenario we are getting the chemical, it's really working and not working. So now approach of the methods life cycle also coming in the picture.
Yes, it's coming fast. It's coming fast, in fact. See, what is happening is, when you keep on, in a generic industry, you keep on trying to reduce the cost. Because you're reducing the cost, you keep on changing the API supplier, you keep on playing with the excipient supplier. So all that thing is costing, and that's the reason you need to ensure that your method is working as it was working before.
It was a good discussion in the evening at this time. I was just curious to understand how do I assess an employee after he's given the DI training, and if I'm trying to assess him, would a paper assessment or the multiple choice questions, definitely he will answer all of them. In fact, they'll get 100 on 100 also. But what are other ways that I can assess that the employees are following DI after they underwent the training program?
Sujit?
Yeah.
Anyone of you?
If anyone can answer, please. Otherwise, I can.
Yeah, please, Sujit, go ahead.
Okay. So Bharti is a very challenging question, I would say. So our traditional procedure of training is to give a training on the paper and assess the training through some question and answers. And the traditional things now is going away from the industry actually. Okay, so the training on scene is an effectiveness. So when you perform training to an employee for the data integrity and he knows what to do and what not to do, and thereafter he start working. So our training mechanism should include why not to do and why to do, and what not to do with lot of examples those training program should cover, so employee understand the consequences of the things which are not to do. Okay. Thereafter, when he start working in the bench or the shop floor, then our QA employee or their own managers has an opportunity to see the performance quality of the work. They can better validate the effectiveness of the training. I'm not very much in the opinion.
Absolutely.
So before we punish the people, how much opportunity we are providing to an employee to speak up? What makes him in the situation is being punished? Okay, so is there any system, a process to be needed before we punish? We ask the question, why did you do this? What make you do this? Okay, and that is the formal procedure in my office. When any deviation comes for my purview, I'm going to talk to the person over the Teams or the one-on-one.
Audio is not
and I'm
there.
going to ask in front of HR, what makes you do this? So what makes you do this? And the answer are quite surprising, which force me not to take any action on the person, but to action on many other persons. So that is also a scenario in the industry we must acknowledge.
Oh, I understand, Raghuvalji, I understand where you're coming. Well, the person would actually blame his boss, that's for sure. In 90%, he would blame his boss, saying that my boss told me. That is unwritten. But then the question is, then you need to pinpoint and catch hold of the boss neck and saying that, yeah, you can't get away like this. You can't always do this. So somewhere it will have a bigger impact.
Okay, I am observing as a third person. There are some bosses who are like Dr. Iyer, who want to punish for a mistake. And there are some bosses who are like Sujit Agarwal. He would like to ask and go with the person why he has done diagnosing. And there are some persons like Rishabh Jain. There are some bosses like Rishabh Jain. There are three bosses like him.
Yes, sir, you are rightly. Yeah, you are rightly said. It's all about the culture which we need to build. When people come from the age of 21, 23 after doing PhD, he do not really knows that what the data integrity means. That is our responsibility to make in a culture and to make him fit in our culture.
Any question from Rakesh Petwal? Rakesh?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, this is a nice talk with all Mr. Sujit and Mr. Rishabh and Dr. Iyer. That what the important thing is that the culture of the organization, which is very important, and see, integrity we can avoid if the culture is itself in the organization. I have only one question here, sir. That because sometime in any some organizations having the legacy issues, so that time it becomes very difficult to maintain the integrity of the organizations, like with respect to the analytical methods, because definitely that questions comes when there are some changes in the methods, that over a period how this method is not working, and this is really challenge for the QC persons. So just I was looking that what approach should be taken for the rectification of those methods and impact assessments of the method. So how we should come out of this kind of thing?
Rakesh, yeah, I think you are right, because this is what I discussed initially. If you have attended this webinar from first time, so I discussed regarding this discussion point, like how to be handle such method which is now to be revised. So that is coming from the R&D, and we have to do more impact assessment, and then we have to be prove it the product which is already supplied to the market doesn't have any concern. Based on that impact assessment, we can revise the method. But yeah, sometimes somewhere we have to be stop this thinking, and we have to become forward saying that now the time to be revise the things.
Right.
Rakesh,
So
yes,
you
I want to add Rishabh what is saying. You see, so several methods, remediation team is there. Several methods we are revising. As you know, USP is revising n number of times for the methods. Every time, every month they are releasing for the USP. USP is well validated, and then 7 countries they are testing. Then also they are revising the method. So method revision is obvious, and then it will happen. Very simple way how to handle in industries when a remediation team needs to be formed, and then the remediation team will take care of equivalency of the method, and then it is annual reportable only as per the regulatory. US FDA is asking annual reportable is method change if it is equivalent. So it is what I can say is our thinking and the fear on the previous impact and yes, obviously it will be there if your equivalent method is generated with the current equipments and then operated this one. It is not a big concern in the industry now because FDA is revising the method. Last time they were using titration method. They are going with now potentiometric method, and then potentiometric method. They are going with the next method. They are doing electrolyte. So why not industry can do it? We can do it with the proper equivalency, and then it is unreportable only for that.
Right, sir. Right.
For the data integrity, if you want to be make one good quality culture in the system, the more connectivity of the manager to the each and every employee, like in the manufacturing process, quality system, until unless the daily meeting, morning meeting at least 5 times, like Pip-Top people are started now, morning they have to be collect, all the people are discussing what is wrong happened yesterday, how to handle it. The discussion, more discussion with involvement of the people, then they come forward, always they come out with a fear. So any industry, only behavior concept, when we are discussing more discussion, how the implication of this data integrity they should understand, because we are working for human safety medicines. So that if the people can understand this, all the things, we can try to be sensitize them like that. Yes, our industry is different industries. We are working for the health of the human, and we have to be connect more and more connection with the people. They are working with us. I think that will be change lot of behavioral aspect of the people, and we can come out with data integrity somewhat.
In fact, I would say that this data integrity issue would soon be obsolete once you have automation in all places. Like let's say we are talking of continuous manufacturing in future. Continuous manufacturing is nothing but trying to use PAT and all. So you have everything data present to you. So this integrity question would not come in the future because it is our industry is now totally manual intensive. You know, everything is so much manual. So once you move from this phase to the next phase, I think this issue will come because it will all have a timestamp. It will have all the audit trail and all. So this data integrity issue would soon fall apart. That's my I don't know, future, you could say, prediction.
Okay, I have few questions to the panelists, and it's a very pinpointed question, and I want a simple and swift reply. The question to Dr. Iyer.
Okay.
You said automation is the solution to data integrity issues. You said once the automation is over, everywhere, data integrity will no longer be an issue. I want to ask you, data is automation the sole solution, the only solution for data integrity issue?
Okay. Let me rephrase what I said. When I said automation is one of the solutions of data integrity, what I'm trying to say is whatever you're doing manually now, where you do not have any control of that, your automation will help you because you will have the complete trail of what you have done. Okay, but I also know even in automation, we have smart people in our industry where they will also manipulate the automation. So I'm not saying anything of that. So all I'm saying is automation would reduce the integrity issue to a large extent. Because okay, you have something to add? Go ahead.
Is manipulation the only cause for the data integrity issue?
When you actually talk about the integrity issue, it is trying to falsify many. Mostly, it is the falsification. It is not human error. Human error can be justified. In this case, the manager is not able to justify what he has done. That's where it becomes a DI issue. Otherwise, a normal laboratory error is not a DI issue. A man can make umpteen mistakes. He can make mistake in pH, he can make mistakes in mobile phase, he can make mistakes in mobile, whatever it is, UV, wavelength, everything. But the DI is nothing but the moment it goes to DI issue, section 211 and 212 of US FDA, CFR, clearly says it is malintention. It is absolutely in a very bad intention. That's where this DI issue comes. Mistakes are not DI issue, sir. Let me correct it. Mistakes are not DI issue. So automation, I'm saying that would help you by a large extent of solving this DI issue.
If data integrity issue is not there in your company, all other errors are smaller than the data integrity errors?
So, sir, let me tell you, the issues what are seen by the FDA is not superseded by the data integrity. But let me tell you, the issues are expected. When there will be operation, there will be issues. Issues with the FDA also, that's why they keep revising their processes, they keep gauging their policies. But when I mentioned in my beginning of my speech, when trust is broken, issues, FDA acknowledge this is a good relationship of trust and the partner is ready to work with FDA. That is why other issues are minor.
Is old legacy systems a threat to business continuity?
Well, it is not actually a threat to business continuity. It is all the way how you handle the situation. Like you have instruments which will work well, which is almost a decade old, which might not have any compliance to 21 CFR, but still your lab is a GMP lab and you have controls in place. So if your lab is quality management matured, as they say QMM nowadays, your maturity is high, you will have systems in place to use that old system. So let's talk about an old system which will not have password control, which will not have gate change control, which will not have let's say manipulation of data control, nothing is there. But you have systems in place in the company which will clearly tell you that if someone uses it, so the second person checks it. If someone makes some data, you have documentary proof for everything. You can still continue using that. And we have used it in my earlier company where we had an old system in place, but we have total see and do attitude. That means someone does it, someone checks it, and then we have convinced the auditor saying that this is what we are going to use and we are not going to throw away this instrument just because it does not have. So it is not a threat to business continuity. No. If that company is mature, they can handle it well. Because even FDA does not ask you to throw it away. They say you use it, but you should have all these checks and balances. See, let me tell you one more thing. Most of the companies cannot afford also to make changes overnight, to come out with new instruments every now and then. No, why? So you should have a sound system in place, a QMS in place, which will handle all this.
More or less, the guideline all are same. There is no so much of difference.
I see. So, Dr. Iyer, you are from Analytical.
Yeah, please.
Is it okay just to keep data integrity issues, just to ensure there is no data integrity issue? Is it okay to convert the manual processes into automation and spending time and money and investment?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you, my earlier answer to that legacy instrument is the same. I am of a strong opinion that you don't have to change everything to automation. It is just that the culture has to be changed. You have to have a strong culture of quality, culture of integrity from the top coming, saying that if you are not following this, you might have to face some action. And then your immediate supervisor should be in line to the system how you are bringing. So it is nothing but you don't have to change, because even if you spending millions of rupees on new instrument, if your DI issue can keep coming. So it is not the geography, it is not the automation, nothing. It is just a playing the way you work, the way you report failures, the way your company understands how to handle failures. Those things come into place, and automation is not the final solution. It might, as Rishabh said, it might help you in trying to reduce the manual issues, because you don't have to check everything and all. Like, for example, if I use LIMS ELN, electronic lab notebook, instead of manual lab notebook, I don't need to check. Electronic lab notebooks is clearly having a gate stamp. So I don't need to physically check what changes he has made. And ELN clearly captures all the changes. Same way, when you go for an automation, it is not necessary all will have to go for automation. Your lab notebook, physical lab notebook, will play the same role as electronic lab notebook. It depends on the culture of the company to change it.
Auditor giving an observation on DI. No, that time it becomes very difficult to justify, because everything is based on trust, and I think that is where we are fit. So I just added over there. That's all.
Yes, sir, I do agree whatever the discussions we have done here. So the trust is very important, and at the same time, like a transparency in the system. Maybe some mistakes happen, so at the same time, how much transparent we are to show that mistake in the system. Maybe the some by using QMS like a incident deviations, whatever it is. So trust and transparency is also important, and finally I can say that overall the integrity depends on that particular organization's culture from top to bottom.
Yes, I do agree. Our survival, laboratory manager survival is with respect to the DI. Nothing else. You can see anything, and then it can be fixed. If DI is there, it cannot be fixed. That day it's just the last day. So we need to focus for the DI. It's true.
Thank you for joining